Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to continue my tutorial with the programming in C. And so let's go and open our file. So let's vim main.c. Okay, this is what we have left out in the previous tutorial. And what I'm going to add to my previous tutorial is more if statements and a while loop and scanf. And to do this, we are going to remove the argument input. I'm going to keep the two variables, and I'm going to use scanf. So first of all, we need to put something to the screen so to interact with the user, and let me begin by typing enter first num. Okay, and then close it. I'm going to use scanf, and what scanf does is that it's similar to printf, but it puts it to the variable. This means that you need to add to it the variable, and to do this we need to add %d and then an AND symbol and then num1, and I'm going to explain what all of these in details. The %d is the same as the printf. There is nothing more than that. You only scanf, which means if for format, so you only put a format which is an integer inside the variable, and as a parameter you send the num1, but you don't send num1 like this. You send it with this symbol, the AND symbol, and this is because you need to send a pointer to it, which I'm going to introduce it to you in my few later videos. And the thing is, pointers are a little bit much harder for now, and let's continue. So it's the same thing. What you need to know is that you send the pointer to a variable, and basically the scanf puts the value inside this pointer. And in C in general, you need to know how to use pointers, because you cannot send a variable from a memory stack and then return it to the heap. Something a little bit difficult to understand right now. And I'm going to add another one, which is going to have enter second. Sorry, because the first one is in letters and the second one is with numbers, but that's fine. Okay, and then we do scanf %d num2, and then we just basically add them together, and this should work. So let's go out, type GCC main.c. let's see if I forgot anything. Maybe something is wrong. Hopefully not. Nothing is wrong. Good. Okay, because I forgot to do something. I forgot to remove my if statement. Sorry for that. We just need to remove this statement, because right now we are not using the arguments. I'm using the input. WQ again, save, go out, GCC, run. Okay, enter your first number, let's say, let's say 5. The second number is 10, and you get 15. let's run it again. 555 plus 10, 565, and it's gonna go forever. And this is much better than before, but we need to add some features, and I'm going to add to it a feature which is by using an if statement, which is, like I said before, and we're going to introduce it fully over here. The if clause begin with an if, and then we need to add a condition, and the conditions are going to be if plus, if minus, if multiplication, and if division. And to add this, we need to add another variable which should be a character, and we'll call it operation, and let's start it and initialize it by an empty character. And let's put an input after the first number. We would say puts operation, that's fine, all in capital letters because it's important, and then scan if, the same thing, percentage C instead of D because D is for integers, and then we send to it OPR. Okay, something to note over here is that usually with scanning if characters you need to put a space here because it reads the previous one, which is a little bit of an edge case here. But this is what you need to know, is that when you use characters, be sure sometimes, not always, that you need to have a space, an empty space, so that it reads this character, it doesn't read what's in the previous one, which is an empty character. Okay, and then over here we're gonna use if OBR is equal, and then add plus to it, and then I'm going to add the result. And to add the result is much better to have a variable that's called sum, and this is because I don't want to repeat the printf multiple times, and this is gonna I'm going to introduce a variable, let's call it result, because we don't know if it's a sum or not, and let's initialize it with 0. And this is much better than printing if inside each if statement. Result equal num1 plus num2. Okay, and then we introduce you to an else if statement, which is basically the same if but with one more condition. Okay, so the program, when it runs to an if statement and then it's not equal, so the equal means if operation is equal, if OBR, variable OBR is equal to a plus sign. If it doesn't equal to a plus sign, we need to do something else, and to do something else we have two statements. The first one is to add if else statement, which means that if this is not true, then just do the else clause for everything else. And another thing is to use else if, which is another condition, which means that if this if is not true, then check this one, and if this one is not true, check the third one, and so on. And let's say over here that we say if OPR is equal to division, we do the same thing, result equal num1 divided by num2. And keep in mind that this is a integer division, so it's gonna round the number. It's not gonna give you a float number because result is an integer. If we need to make the result float, it's gonna change the number, it's gonna give you a float number. But over here I'm not gonna bother, because over here I'm just introducing you to an if and else if, and a while as well. So another one, if OBR equal, let's say multiplication. I'm just gonna write this a little bit much quicker than before. Okay, and then result equal num1 multiplied by num2. And then else if operation equal minus, we need to subtract. num1 negative num2. Okay, and then over here we would print if result is equal to result. Okay, let's check if it's gonna work or not. Hopefully it's gonna work. So enter your first number, let's say 10, and then let's say negative 5, and it gave us 5. Let's run it again. Let's try 10 plus 5, and we get 15. Let's run it again. Let's say 10 divided by 5, gonna give us 2. What else do we have? I've tested the minus, the plus. Yeah, we need the multiplication. 10 multiplied by 5 is gonna give us 15. Okay, cool. We need to add an else. So let's say that the user input something very completely, is not a plus sign, is not a negative sign, is something else, a character, another character. We need to add an else, which is an else doesn't have a condition, because it's gonna run for every other things that it's not in this list. And then over here, let's say puts error or something like this, and let's go. Oh, okay, I forgot to return, because you don't want your program to continue running after there is an error. Okay, let's say 10, and then let's say bracket 10 error. Yeah, good. Okay, what about a while loop? I'm going to add a while loop that's going to check, and a loop is something that's going to run until a certain condition happens. And in this case, I'm going to add a variable that asks the user if he wants to run the program again or not, and this way we could check. And let's call it an integer, because it's much simpler, and or a character is fine. A character, and let's call it repeat or again. Okay, and let's make it equal to n. And then I'm going to use a while loop. There are two types of while loops. The first one called do while, and the second one called while. And basically they are very similar. The only thing that's different is that the do while runs at least once, while the while check for the condition before it runs. And over here, obviously the do while is much suitable to this program, because we don't want the program to check for again at the beginning. We don't know if he wants to run the program, if he wants we don't need to check, because we don't want to put an initialization for again. Okay, we don't want to assume anything, so we usually use do while, and I'm going to use do while here. Okay, and basically we just need to fix the indentation. Let's fix it. Okay, and I forgot to add the printf inside the loop, so we need to put this inside the loop. Or let me just change the brackets. Yes. Okay, and this way we could ask the user a question here, and let's ask him put again, and then let's type yes or no, so he knows that he's only allowed to enter 2 characters. And then scan F, and like I said, it's a character, we need to add a space, C and symbol or ampersand, and again. Okay, and then we here add the while loop, and let's say while again is equal to yes, or okay, this is an or symbol, and this means that if this condition or that condition, and this is an and symbol. Okay, and over here it's suitable to use the or, and let's type again equal to small letter y. Okay, this we need to compile it, run it, enter your first number, 3 plus 1. No, but that's fine. Again, yes, it's gonna ask me again, 3 plus 1, no. Okay, so that's basically it for this tutorial. I'm going to introduce you in the next tutorial about strings, and I'm going to change this program to use while loop as well, and let's see what's gonna happen. So thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful, and see you later.